Hi there, welcome to iQuanta's CLAT channel that is dedicated to your success. My name is Vikrant. I am your personal coach for all things related to English, logical reasoning, and later on maybe communications and mental aspects of the preparation. So in this particular series, we plan to discuss the previous year question paper of the CLAT, and the paper that we are picking up is CLAT 24 logical reasoning. In this video, you and I are going to work together on the first set. We will discuss it threadbare and go through all the questions. If you happen to have any concerns after that, you can drop them down in the comments below. And hey, if you are new to our channel, what are you supposed to do? Subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you get the notification when I upload the next video of this particular series. And even otherwise, we keep bringing tons of videos for you, tons of relevant material for you. You would not want to miss out on that. So let's go ahead and start. So the first set basically gave us this particular piece of text to work with. So let's go ahead and dive into it, read it together, understand it thoroughly, and then take it up from there. So start. Words remain an enigma. Their presence within human sphere is a unique mystery. Okay, so what do you understand by words remain an enigma? So what is enigma? Enigma is something that is mysterious. Enigma is something that seems impossible to understand completely. So the author is bringing in a very interesting proposition first up, and that is words remain an enigma. Whereas you and I think of vocabulary words and we're like, duh, they are easy. But here he says that no, words are somehow mysterious. Their presence within human sphere is another way of saying their presence in our lives is a unique mystery. Okay, why? They form the intricate tapestry that convinces us of our existence, blurring lines between fact and fiction. So first up, let's just break it down. What do you understand by the word tapestry? Tapestry is something that is made up of a lot of different parts. In fact, if I look at the primary meaning, tapestry is a piece of cloth with a pattern or a picture that is created by sewing or weaving different colored threads. People hang it as a decorative element, right? And in this particular case, tapestry is actually being used as a metaphor. A metaphor for what? It is a metaphor for our life. So where you've gone through a lot of experiences in your life. Every experience that you've gone through is like a thread woven into the tapestry of your life, the journey of your life. So you may go through a painful experience, a happy experience. Later on, you look back at your life and you notice that entire pattern. So when you say they form the intricate tapestry that convinces us of our existence, we are basically saying that they are a very close-knit part of our life. In fact, words in a way tell us that we exist, and words also blur lines between fact and fiction. How? Why? Tell me, there are times when you are in a particular mood. The mood is indistinguishable. You cannot really figure out exactly what mood it is. Now imagine at that particular moment you listen to a song where somebody else is singing to you. There are certain words that the song carries with itself. And those words, that song makes you feel a certain way. You were not feeling that until that point of time. But after that, you feel a certain way. So what happened? So the impact of the words became your reality. But the truth is that was not the feeling, that was not the emotion that you had prior to that. So they can blur the boundary between fact and fiction. Okay, then an engagement with words is the most captivating, enchanting, and sometimes daunting encounter with the world. So what do we really mean by this? How would you really go ahead and interpret this particular part? So let's just break it down. So we are saying that an engagement with words is the most captivating. So something that captivates you is something that grabs hold of you, something that grabs your attention. So for example, imagine reading a book. If it's a nice book, hours may pass before you notice that the time has gone by. So engagement with words can be captivating. Engagement with words can be enchanting. And something that is enchanting is something that magically captures you, something that transports you to a world of magic, something that fills you with a sense of wonder. And even that can happen, right? You read a poem that you really love, or you listen to a song that you are fond of, and it transports you to a different place altogether. And sometimes daunting is something that is challenging, right? Daunting is something which is intimidating, discouraging, something that may frighten you. So yes, when you pick up, say, so words can also be challenging or intimidating. So imagine you pick up a textbook that has a lot of complex jargon, plenty of unfamiliar terms and concepts. So that can challenge you. And the last part is very important: encounter with the world. Now see, you can choose to read about some aspects of the world. Imagine you can choose to read about distant cultures. You can choose to read about historical events, scientific discoveries. All of these are, in a way, your encounters with the world. So what this sentence on the whole says is that when you read words, you'd find that they can charm you, fill you with a sense of wonder, or they can also at times feel challenging. But in this entire process, you do get to know more of the world. You, in a way, are getting to know of the places that you have not been to in person. You get to know of things that you have not seen in person, but through words, you go ahead and become aware of all those things. So that's there. So a word, a symbolic entity formed from the ethereal. Ethereal is something which is extremely light and delicate, as if it were not of this world. Ethereal is something which is otherworldly, divine. So I watched this movie called Lord of the Rings, and in Lord of the Rings they have shown elves. And when you see those elves, they look like ethereal beings. So light, delicate, shining. So he's saying word is like that. It's a symbolic entity. It's a symbol. Huh? It appears that it has come from some other world. It exists neither as animate nor inanimate, neither living nor dead, yet pulsates with life. It can emanate warmth or coldness. So a word can make you feel warm. A word can make you feel cold. And we know that words do have that impact. Words can absorb emotions or stand as dry as a rock. Words can provoke smiles and elicit joy. Think of the last time around when you heard a nice story or a joke. They are like glowworms. What's a glowworm? Glowworm is an insect that produces light from its tail. The Hindi word that we use is jugnu. It's a type of beetle. They're like glowworms, momentarily dispelling the surrounding darkness and act as life-saving rafts amid the tumultuous ocean waves. Words grant us the ability to explore the universe and to see a world in a grain of sand. Interesting. As William Blake noted, so this to see a world in a grain of sand is actually a line taken from a poem by William Blake. They impart a semantic existence to the lifeless and bestow aesthetic form upon the formless. So semantics basically means related to words or meaning. So let's try understanding. It's a complicated sentence. So when you say that words impart a semantic existence to the lifeless, this means that words give meaning and identity to things that otherwise do not have life, things that otherwise do not exist. For example, when you read a story about a fictional character, that character does not exist in reality, yet those words in a way give life to that character. And then the next part is and bestow aesthetic form upon the formless. So it means that words can create a beautiful or pleasing structure, a beautiful or pleasing appearance to even those things that do not exactly have a very definite shape, a very definite form. For instance, I read a fair bit of poetry, and probably you've also been made to read some poetry in your life. So you notice poetry often describes abstract concepts like love, like sadness, but they describe it in such a way that even those abstract concepts become so real and tangible and so beautiful. So that's bestowing aesthetic form upon the formless. Scriptures say the word is the world. Okay. I say the world within the word is the abode of faith. So another I'd say a fair bit of challenging sentence, but that's it. So that's basically about the set for this particular logical reasoning questions. So let's go ahead and dive into the first question. What is the central theme of the passage? Now see, the weird thing about CLAT is that there are times when the distinction between what is reading comprehension and what is logical reasoning gets blurred, and this is a prime example. So central theme is essentially nothing but the main idea of the passage. So which one of these four gives you the main idea of this particular passage? So what does this passage focus on? So I prefer solving these questions through the process of elimination. So let's start. A says the history of the human language. Does it talk about the history of human language? It just talks about words. So can I say that this is an answer choice which is alien? It brings in something which is irrelevant to the passage. It is not even mentioned. So let's rule it out. The impact of words on human existence. Yes, this is at least something which has been mentioned at different places. It can impact us emotionally. It can, to talk about this, semantic existence to the lifeless, aesthetic form upon the formless. They can provoke smiles, elicit joy. Yes, so definitely there is some impact of words. Then C, the importance of storytelling, not mentioned. So just like A, alien or irrelevant. The mystery of human cognition. Cognition is our ability to understand the world around us through our senses and through our mental processes. So not something that the passage talks about. So through the process of elimination, we can be very confident about choosing B as our answer to this particular question. Let's dive into the next one. According to the passage, what does a word symbolize? So does the passage talk about the word being a symbol? It does. Here you go. A word, a symbolic entity formed from the ethereal, exists neither as animate nor inanimate, yet pulsates with life. So once again, the passage very clearly tells us that a word is neither animate nor inanimate. So A and B are ruled out. So our choice now is essentially C versus D. So C says that the word is a tangible entity. What is a tangible entity? Something which is tangible is something that we can perceive using our senses. Something which is tangible is something, just to use some term from physics, is something that has mass and occupies space. So is word that kind of a thing? No, it's more of, once again, if you look at the passage, what do you see? Words are basically formed from ethereal. They come from other world. And then look at these. They are glowworms. And then they grant us the ability to explore the universe. So they're not technically an object. And if you dig deeper into the meaning, if you were to dig deeper, what exactly do we mean by a symbol? A symbol is something that represents an idea. It stands for an idea. So the core thing there is that idea. For example, look at this. What is this? A, B, C. These are letters of our alphabet, and every letter is nothing but a symbol that captures a sound on a piece of paper. So what does A denote? What does A symbolize? A symbolizes sound. Similarly, what does a word symbolize? It symbolizes an idea or an image that it conveys. And that is basically intangible concept. And that is why between C and D, we should go ahead and prefer option D. Let's get into the third one. How does the passage describe words' ability to affect emotions? So once again, let's refer to the relevant part of the passage. So we know that words can emanate warmth or coldness, they can absorb emotions or stand as dry as a rock. Words can provoke smiles and elicit joy. So these are the things that we know. So let's check. Words can only evoke positive emotions. False. Words can also evoke negative emotions. Check this. When they show coldness, what will that be? So it's not just positive emotions. Then words can absorb emotions and become emotions themselves. Yes, they can. This is consistent with the passage. So notice they can absorb emotions. And the word can, when they emanate warmth or coldness, then they themselves are sort of an emotion. If a word can provoke smile or elicit joy, it is in a way conveying that emotion. It is taking that emotional form. So this is still consistent. Words have no impact on emotions. Very clearly false. Words can be devoid of emotions. This is true. Words can be devoid of emotions because you see, there is this part in this paragraph that says words can stand as dry as a rock. But then look at the question. How does the passage describe words' ability to affect emotions? So D is not relevant to this part of affecting emotions. And that is what allows us to eliminate D, and we can choose B as our answer. Here is the next question now. An engagement with words is the most captivating, enchanting, and sometimes daunting encounter with the world. Which of the following conclusions can be drawn from the above statement? So when you and I were reading the passage, we in fact fortunately went through this particular statement rather thoroughly. We ended up spending a good 3-4 minutes talking about this particular statement. So now that we know the meaning of the statement and we know that the question asks us to draw a conclusion, what do? The moment the question, this is a reasoning based question for sure. The moment we are asked to arrive at a conclusion, what do? How do you approach this question? So for me, I go to every answer choice and I decide, hey, is it true on the basis of the information provided by the passage? Is it false? Is it can't say? So I would go and apply one of these three labels of true, false, can't say. Now in this case, fortunately, I don't have to worry about the entire passage. The question confines me to a single sentence. So let's start. Words can be used to manipulate others. All that we know is that engagement with the words is the most captivating, enchanting, and sometimes daunting encounter with the world. You meet the world through words, through reading, through listening. It's not about manipulating. So this is something that we cannot conclude from this sentence. So data insufficient, I'd say can't say. The power of words should be used carefully, completely irrelevant with respect to the sentence that is given to us. Words can capture the atrocities of the world. Where does it say this? All we can say is an engagement with words can be a daunting encounter. You can be intimidated, but that's probably because the word is difficult, or the concept that it shows brings to your mind is dense, difficult to understand. It's not about atrocities. So even this cannot be inferred or concluded. Words can paint a picture of the world in all its different colors. True. They can paint a picture which is captivating or enchanting or daunting. And your encounter with the world, you basically, things that you have not first-hand experienced, you are experiencing them through words. So this is the one that comes closest to this sentence. In fact, now that I've read all of these answer choices, I would say that it is going by the question step, it looked like a reasoning question, but in reality, it is more of an idea restatement question. we basically had to pick up a sentence from among the options that comes closest to the quoted sentence given to us in the question. That sentence is D, therefore that is the one that we'd go ahead and mark as our answer. Let's dive into the next question now. Which of the following strengthens the author's idea of words being like glowworms momentarily dispelling the surrounding darkness? Fabulous. So let's go back to the relevant part. Okay, so here is that relevant part for us. Look at the context. They are like glowworms, momentarily dispelling the surrounding darkness and act as life-saving rafts amid the tumultuous ocean waves. So what is the context? So you notice the moment you say they are like glowworms, remember from your school days, it's a simile. So simile and metaphor are basically what? Comparisons. So right now we are saying that words are like glowworms. Now what do glowworms do? In the external world there is darkness. A glowworm can illuminate that external world for us. Fair enough? It illuminates that external world. So similarly, we are not able to understand the world around us, but when you see words, they bring in that light and help you understand the world around us. So keeping this simile in mind, let's see. Words help us in understanding reality. Yes. Words illuminate the mind of the reader. Hey, what do glowworms illuminate? The external world or the inner world? They help you see the external world. So it's not about illuminating the mind. It is about illuminating the surroundings so that it becomes easier for your mind to understand. So this is wrong. Words help in escaping reality. No connection. Do glowworms help us in escaping the darkness? No. Words cast darkness in the mind of the reader. No, they make it easier for us to understand it. So I think C and D were easy to eliminate. Problem could have been between A and B, but the moment you get that simile right, you will be able to pick up A as your answer without any hesitation. Let's get into our last question. In the context of the passage, what is the significance of the world within the word? So where exactly do we find a reference of the world within the word? Here it is, the very last sentence. Scriptures say the word is the world. I say the world within the word is the abode of, abode is basically residence or house of faith. Let's interpret it. Let's read the last two sentences because that will give us the context. So when you say that scriptures say the word is the world, this phrase suggests that religious texts often emphasize the power and importance of the words. So in many scriptures, for example, in the Bible, it is said that God created the world through His word. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. Or even I'm a practicing Hindu. So in my religion, we say that the world has originated from the sound. And the word Om that is quite often used in Hinduism is considered that primordial sound that gave birth to the entire universe. So scriptures say the word is the world. So scriptures say that words have the power to bring things into existence and shape reality. And then the author says that, hey, I say the world within the word is the abode of faith. So within the words, there is a deeper spiritual realm where faith lives and grows. What exactly is faith? Come to think of it. Faith is when you believe something even though you don't have any evidence for it. I can take a very simple example. Let's say I'll just write this word. So look at this word. Now what does this word convey? This allows you to refer to a particular vegetable. Well, technically tomato is a fruit, but why are we calling it tomato? How do you know that this sound will refer to this object? It's a random thing, right? But we trust in the word's ability to refer to the right thing. Think of it as a code. Or another way of looking at it could be that In literature, words can create entire worlds and evoke deep emotions. For example, in a poem about love, the words can make us feel the intensity and the beauty of the emotion, even though love itself is intangible. So that's basically the approximate idea behind this. So now let's get into our answer choices and see what it stands for. So it refers to the power of language to create inspiration, energy, and faith. It can, yes. It signifies the author's love for the global community. Eliminate. No such context. It represents the mysteries hidden in language. The mysteries, now it talks about faith. Faith is where you have belief. So what if you don't have evidence? There is no mystery there. So if for example, if you have faith in God, God is not a mystery for you. God exists for you then. So you can eliminate it. D, it describes the author's mission to explore different cultures. Again, easy to eliminate. So I think if we were to get stuck, it is probably between A and C, where A is a lot closer to that sentence as compared to option C. So our answer must be A. So in case you found this particular set difficult, I can understand the difficulty in this particular set is coming not from reasoning, but from the aspect of comprehension. So make sure that you continue to read things which challenge you, which take you beyond your comfort zone, and you will eventually become rather comfortable dealing with even such complicated things that happen to have layers and layers of meaning. So that's set 1. If you enjoyed working with me, don't forget to like the video. If you need to know more, drop in a comment below. And yes, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon. And I'll see you in the next one really soon. Until then, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch. Catch you later.